We're just standing here, watching Everard at his typewriter, just constantly typing. Is Everard actually typing anything? Is he just trying to look busy? If we looked at that paper, would it just be a whole bunch of gibberish? Because his real work has to do with giving orders to his goons. Like, what does he actually need to type? Well, I guess we'll just leave. Because it doesn't seem like we're getting any additional information here. Not from last time anyway, where he told us exactly why he was doing the strike to begin with, and how we're going to get our gun. We have to wait for tonight to get our gun, though. We also have to wait to tonight to give Kuno cigarettes. You may remember from last time. Let's see, confront the pigs. It's just one person, but she calls herself the pigs. We could go to the dice maker. I believe that was going to be 19 o'clock when those were going to be ready. Offer figurines to Dolores Day? I don't really understand that. Okay, yeah, that was, this is the dice maker one. Right, once we go to the dice maker, then we can talk to her about the source of doom. Once we get on Kuno's good side, we can talk about phasmids. Ruby on the Coast will be after we do these other things. I don't know how to make it harder core. I don't know how to find the idiot logo. We probably should check where the bullet came from, these other spots. Talk to Klaasje. We could talk to her now, and then later when Kim's not around. We could probably do those things. It's probably something we could do now. We also have the game, and we do need to try to play the game with Kim.
Oh, hey, mister. I'm not gonna bother you with a long greeting, just like we talked about before. I know you're probably a busy man being an important police officer and all, and personally, I think the more people keeping the peace, the better.
Well, Leo does have a new option here. Leo, you seem to know everyone around here. I want to ask someone.
Mr. Everard doesn't really want me to talk to people about union guys. But who did you want to talk about?
Oh, but we're friends with Mr. Everard. We're practically union men ourselves. Tell me about this Edgar guy you keep mentioning.
Mr. Edgar is Mr. Everard's brother. He looks a bit younger, he does. But a very smart fellow. Very smart fellow indeed. He's away on some union business. Not even in Revershaw, they say.
Let's not interrupt him.
All kinds of places he visits. Him and his brother both do when they're on a vacation. Right now, it's Mr. Everard's turn to look after the union. But last year he spent a whole winter in South Africa. Left with the first autumn rains and didn't come back before the trees were green again.
The little guy chuckles again.
South Safra. A lot of bulk chemical manufacturing going on there. A lot of cargo shipments being made.
Chemical manufacturing, huh? Tell me about Manana.
He's a union man through and through. Good guy. He's very calm, laid back, doesn't do much, talks to Everard sometimes. Honestly, I don't know what he does for us, but it must be important because everybody likes him. Yes, they do. I think that's what he does. He makes everyone feel a little better.
Well, there is value in that. Manana, he does things at a deliberate pace. Doesn't overwork himself. Tell me about Measurehead.
Whoa, he's really something. He doesn't talk much to me usually, but when he does, I don't really understand most of what he's saying. Actually, I don't think he would like me running my mouth about him like that. Once he said he's a dragon to this mob fellow who came picking a fight with some union men. I think he really believes Jean-Luc was a dragon because he ran right off. Another time he almost killed another guy, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose Measurehead has had to do some dirty work for the Union.
That's precisely what he is. Everard's dragon.
And we slayed that dragon. I guess that's why Everard, that's why he had to talk to us to begin with. Tell me about Titus.
Oh, Titus is a longshoreman through and through. He was born on a boat, they say. His veins are probably filled with salt water, I tell you. Nice, friendly sort, old Titus is.
Oh yeah, nice, friendly Titus Hardy. I mean, I guess if he is nice and friendly really depends on who you are. Tell me about Everart.
I'd best not. I mean, I could, but I don't think Mr. Everett would like it very much. You better ask him yourself, mister.
If anything, the ever-present smile on Leo's face gets even warmer. Tell me about Renee.
The night guard. He was a peculiar fellow. Headstrong and proud. We didn't really talk all that much. He died recently. Something with his ticker.
Yeah, we found that out last time. Renee did die on the job, leaving Gaston heartbroken. I want to talk about something else.
Sure, mister. What can Leo do for you?
All right, I guess that's all we can ask about, at least for right now. I don't know if that really helped that much. We did get a little bit of experience and a little bit of real for doing that. As we return back, of course, there is this.
You're back before the cargo container.
But can't try that again, at least for right now. Oh, I don't suppose if we go back to Renee's booth, if there might be anything different here.
This is the night watchman's booth. The name on the door reads, Rene Arnaud. Rene left his uniform neatly folded on the table. Generally speaking, it would be dishonorable to take it. But then, it looks like a military uniform, and wearing that is very honorable. So, a conflict of honor, it's up to you.
Well, no one took it. They just left it here. It'd be a shame for it to go to waste.
I suppose Renee is not going to be needing it anymore. It's a bit too colorful for my taste.
This is gonna take my shit to the next level.
Fantastic. Try not to wear it with other similarly colorful clothes, okay?
Well, let's have a look at them. All right, so let's see. Royal Carabinier jacket, +1 to Revacholian nationhood. And then +1 to reaction speed on the pants. Current pants, -1 savoir-faire, +1 electrochemistry. We don't need that. That's not doing anything for us. What's our current reaction speed like? Oh, we do have a point too. 2 points that we could do. Reaction speed is 3. It could certainly be better. And electrochemistry does not need a buff. Those are some good looking pants. Okay, let's see. The beautiful adorned jacket of the Royal Carabiniers has 3 stars on its shoulder and the word Capitaine written on the chest. Neatly patched here and there, it's impossible not to feel love for the fatherland when you wear it. What I'm wearing right now. These pants are made from synthetic lightweight fiber and designed to let the Carabiniers' legs and groin breathe. Red stripes are there to inspire courage, while the golden stripe symbolizes the patriotic flame in the wearer's heart. Yeah, I do, myself, I do appreciate it when my groin can breathe. I'm just, so... Currently, we do have a point that we could put into something. Just thinking about why can't I put so many points into visual calculus? Just wondering what's different there than the other intellect skills. Trying to think, is there anything that I would need? Oh yeah, I was thinking about suggestion. Suggestion was one of them because we needed that for the game. Let's see. We're currently digesting Detective Cousteau. I do have some other thoughts here, such as cleaning out the rooms. I have no idea what this possibly could be. Hardcore aesthetic, -2 to interfacing. I am curious to know what this would be and if it would help us discover the true meaning of hardcore. Actual art degree. This one popped because we buffed our conceptualization with clothes. But normally our conceptualization is real low. I wonder if I would want to try to internalize that if conceptualization is just always low. I mean, as it is, we are wearing a lot of clothes to buff Encyclopedia to get, you know, value out of Wompty Dompty Dom Center. These, let's see, regular law official I don't want to do. Rigorous self-critique, I don't want to be a sorry cop is the thing. Are there any skills that's kind of useless right now? Oh, Superstar. Learning cap for VisCalc raised to 6. That's why. Suggestion 6. Electrochemistry 6. Composure 6. -1 logic. I guess I don't need this one, really. It's not doing that much for me, is it? Lawjaw. Let's see. Right, hand-eye coordination. Okay, yeah, that's right. The reason I wanted this was hand-eye coordination passives. There's communism, which I would have gotten rid of if it wasn't for that quest to find communists. Anti-object task force, we want to keep that. Want to keep jamais vu. +1 XP for every warp clicked. +2 perception with no debuffs. All motorics white checked unlocked. Do we want to get rid of this one? Like, is this one going to be useful? Is there, like, the motorics white checks doesn't happen as, like, that's only happening once. Is there a reason that we want to reveal Arno van Eck posters? I don't know if that's useful. Wompty Dompty Dom Center, of course, has proven to be very useful. This one we want to keep. That one I want to keep. Oh, the sober thought. Right, the reason I wanted this, to keep this, is because it's a +1 to psyche in general. Alright, so let's say I was going to get rid of Van Eck. Since I have no idea what cleaning out the rooms could possibly be. Actual art degree, which would give me a -1 to perception. Or hardcore aesthetic, which would give me -2 to interfacing. Man, I want to know about the hardcore, and it seems like this is what's going to get me there. Well. Alright, let's forget about Van Eck. And let's become hardcore. Let's see. And let's see something. Here's the game.
The Suzerainty box is heavy and slightly...
Yeah, so that's suggestion. Oh, what's this?
Wow, this jacket makes you feel strong. As if your blood is mixing with that of the venerable Philippian loyalists of old.
Mixing? Does my blood need mixing? Or is it good as it is?
Apologies, you're right. The need for a strong central government has always been clear to you. You're a true patriot of Revachol, born to do it. It's time to clean up the streets and restore the city to its former glory. Whether you like it or not, this jacket gives you serious nationalist cred.
Do I want to be a nationalist? But it didn't have me absorb a thought or anything. Let's see. Right now my clothes... I wanted to look at suggestion. Right now my clothes are giving me suggestion -1. What's that -1? It's the shirt. Alright, let's just quickly go through the clothes once again. All right, but we want to change the shirt. Let's change that to logic. So now we have suggestion +1. If we look at this game,
The Suzerainty box.
that's gone up to 42%.
Awkward.
Before we do that, so I don't know why Half-Light talked about nationalism and it didn't give me a thought or anything like that. So I don't know what that was about. Maybe it means I'm on my way to learning to be a nationalist. Assuming I keep the code on. I wonder if I should put the uniform on and talk to Gaston. I wonder what he'd think about that. What I wanted to do was buy more cigarettes at the frit, because I've been using a few of them. And I need to make sure I have enough to bribe Kuno.
A colourful display of cigarettes.
Again, I'm obliged to inform you that both alcohol and cigarettes damage your health. Here you go, mister.
Thank you. So we have 7 uses of cigarettes. I bet racist lorry driver would love the uniform.
Oh, sorry, officer. What do you want?
Hey, Gaston. No comment on the duds?
It isn't right. René wanted to be buried in his uniform, but I guess it doesn't matter now.
The lieutenant gives you a long, slow shake.
Well, we don't have anything else to talk about. We just wanted to come by to show him that we stole the uniform. Kim does not approve. We didn't have to do that, but we did. All right, let's see if we can play some Suzerainty.
The Suzerainty box is heavy and slightly awkward in your hands. You give it a light shake and feel the pieces shift around inside.
Does the chat want to attempt to increase the odds? Because we do... Let's see, this would be a psyche buff. %, because of intriguing components and the chat. Let's see.
What is detective work if not an elaborate game? You need logical inference, attention to detail, the ability to analyze your opponent's motives.
Come on. It might help us think of more creative solutions to the case.
I do feel like my thinking has become somewhat rigid. Maybe a little diversion to keep the mind limber is just what's in order.
See? He's doing the hard work himself. All he needed was a little nudge.
Alright, you've convinced me. How do we play?
I read the rules already. I'll show you.
You explain the basic setup procedures to the lieutenant, who seems to be a quick study. You each take your bag of tokens and counters and unfold the board between you. In the center is the crown of Revachon. Radiating outward are her colorful vessels, each one supplying some raw material desired by the suzerain.
I do like the idea that we're just standing out here in the street. I guess we're holding the board between us.
Apricots from Safre, archaeological treasures from Ilmarat, sugars from the Seminine Islands, and magenta cocaine from Supra Muindi and Sara Maritza. There's also a neat little log to keep track of your progress in case you need to put the game away and return to it later. The lieutenant goes first. He draws a contract card and moves several of his workers to the Safre territory of the board, and the others to the Seminine Islands.
All right, detective, your turn.
You have a few options available to you. Will you try to fulfill contracts right away, or rearrange your workers to maximize production on future turns? Remember what the rulebook said. You will want to choose a strategy early on and stay committed to it.
We could try to fulfill a contract. We could let our workers rest for a while, or we could just do whatever Kim did and take the strategy of just copying the opponent and wait for him to make a mistake and try to capitalize. Well, maybe we want to put that to a vote on what strategy we should use. So let's ask the chat if the chat wants to fulfill a contract, let the workers rest, or do whatever Kim did. Let's see what they think is the way to go. Saying try to fulfill a contract, so it sounds like the chat feels we should try to be, I guess, gaining resources early in the game. Rearranging the workers sounded like it was saying that that could pay benefits later, but if we try to fulfill a contract early, that may give us an early boost. We'll see.
You draw a contract card offering a number of coins in exchange for archaeological treasures. You place all your workers on the Ilmarat territory. On your next turn, you produce 6 units of archaeological treasure and fulfill the contract for a handful of coins.
Not bad, detective.
But not good enough, the lieutenant seems to be saying. As he completes his own contract card, the lieutenant is rewarded with 4 coins and a round wooden token that he places in the center of the board.
That's a market. It's worth 2 victory points.
Hey, why don't I get one of those?
Don't worry, it was mostly just luck. You'll earn some points soon enough.
What is that patronizing tone? You're one of the suzerain's trusted administrators. You may need to put the lieutenant in his place.
I'm not even sure what points are. That's part of the problem.
Points are nothing. They don't exist. They're just an arbitrary convention that games use to reward or punish players for certain behaviors.
Am I getting points right now? Look around.
There are some paranoid types who believe the moral intern keeps detailed score sheets for everyone in the Real Belt. But that's obviously nonsense.
Yes, obviously.
Otherwise, no. There are no points, just your actions and the consequences of those actions.
Just like there are no honor points. None whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I guess that is reassuring that we're not constantly being scored.
That's just the way it is.
The lieutenant doesn't seem to find much value in dwelling on the subject.
Now, I believe it's your turn.
Glancing over the board, you see several possible strategies. Pressing more workers into service would increase your economic output and help you to survive a possible conflict with the lieutenant. Or you could ignore your labor supply and focus on fulfilling contracts for points and resources. What do you do?
Press more workers into service, focus on... Kim, what should I do?
That's up to you, detective. But remember, the objective of the game is to earn victory points for the Suzerain. You should probably pick one strategy and stick to it. Trying to do a little of everything is usually a bad idea.
But what about the workers?
The workers are just there to produce raw resources. You're not supposed to worry about them too much.
Well, they've said more than once now that we should just stick with the strategy, and our first turn was about fulfilling contracts, so I guess that's what we're going to do.
Who cares about workers or territories when the real action is in Revachon? You spend your turns fulfilling contracts for sweet coins and one-time bonuses. After several turns, you have a neat pile of cardboard coins and several units of archaeological treasure, which you trade in to build a museum. You place a cylindrical piece of wood on the Revachol section in the middle of the board. It's meant to stand in for a beautifully adorned edifice filled with ancient wonders. This is more or less what happened in real life as well. To this day, if Ilmarans want to see their nation's priceless treasures, they have to visit Revachol, or Gottwald, or Sur-le-Clay.
Well played, Detective. That museum is worth 3 victory points.
Now it's the lieutenant's turn to respond. He moves aggressively onto the Safre territory. Soon, his workers are producing a steady supply of extremely valuable apricots. How can you let the lieutenant dominate you like that? You need to hit back, and hard.
Can we sabotage his chain of apricots? Is it possible?
For several turns, you struggle to respond to the lieutenant's burgeoning apricot empire. Eventually, you relocate the majority of your workers to Supremawindi and Saramoritza, where they begin producing a bumper crop of cocaine tokens.
Hell yes. Apricots versus cocaine. Which is gonna win?
You draw a new contract card. According to the text, there's an aristocrat willing to trade a large supply of cocaine for a number of coins and access to a rare bonus. Amplified music worth 7 victory points. Oh yeah, baby. Cocaine and rock music go together like cocaine and rock music. You know, this isn't unlike the situation the historical Revacholian Suzerainty faced in Safre in the middle of the last century.
Tell me more. Maybe historical perspective would help me in this game.
Well, the Suzerain was looking for new markets for all the cocaine it was producing, and it settled on Safre. By introducing cocaine into Safre under exclusive contract, the Suzerain created an extremely valuable captive market for an extremely addictive product.
That is kind of fucked up.
If you could somehow get the lieutenant's workers addicted to your cocaine, you could not only make them less productive, you would also force the lieutenant to pay you for your cocaine tokens each turn.
That's what I like to hear. The encyclopedia is now thinking the way I wanted to think. That's right. We're going to sabotage his chain of apricots by getting his workers addicted to my product. Can you even do that?
Yes, you can. It's right there in the rules. Now's your chance. Show the lieutenant what happens when he patronizes you. You've reached a critical strategic juncture. How do you respond to the lieutenant's aggression?
I mean, probably we're not going to attack the lieutenant and steal all his resources, but we do have a pretty good strategy, I think. Sorry, Kim, you're not going to like this. Introduce the lieutenant's workers to cocaine. Lieutenant's face goes stony as you take your turn. He does not appreciate you getting all his workers addicted to cocaine.
With each passing turn, you slowly bleed the lieutenant of coins as his own workers become less productive and more dependent on your magenta cocaine tokens. As a matter of historical fact, this is almost exactly what happened in Safre. To this day, fully half of the former Safre Empire remains dependent on international aid in exchange for a steady supply of cheap produce.
Just like they did to Safre.
More or less.
The lieutenant says, but he's thinking less about matters of historical wrongdoing than how to get out of the jam you've put him in.
Realizing victory is slipping away, the lieutenant launches a desperate gambit: protectionism. By erecting tariffs on your cocaine, he hopes to starve you out of the market at the risk of incurring the Suzerain's disfavor.
But Kim, what about the free market? The invisible hand. The invisible hand got your workers addicted to cocaine, and I think you're responding poorly.
The end game is upon you. Do you escalate the trade war with the lieutenant in hopes of crushing him with your economic might? Or do you ignore his aggression and focus on building the mighty victory column structure in Revachol herself? Alternatively, you could throw the whole game away by trying to build a public education system for the children of your workers. The choice is yours.
All right, so I guess we could try to get an economic victory or a cultural victory, or apparently if we could try to build the school, the education system, and just not win, because that public education thing is going to be a long-term investment, and I don't think the game is going to last that long. But at the same time, we do get bonuses for communism for left-wing responses. So I gotta go with Down Deep, and Down Deep beats the heart of a communist. We know this. So build a public education system for the workers.
There's a reason very few players ever attempt to build a public education system for their worker tokens. It's extremely expensive and never pays off by design. Your boondoggle nearly bankrupts the suzerain's treasury, and you suffer a significant penalty to your final score.
Ouch.
The lieutenant says, cringing at your spectacular failure. You taught me that points are arbitrary. I decided to play the game how I wanted instead.
The lieutenant opens his mouth, as if to issue a blistering retort, then hesitates.
You know, Detective, there's something admirable about that, in its own way. Now, let's tally up the scores, shall we?
Computing the final scores is almost a game unto itself. You each spend an inordinate amount of time making stacks of coins, consulting tables, and struggling with basic addition and multiplication. After double, then triple checking your maths, you have your final score. -5 victory points. You'll be lucky if the suzerain doesn't have your whole family executed for such a pitiful performance.
I've got 20 points.
He says, slightly embarrassed at the point differential.
Well, there's always next time. Figuratively, I mean. There's no way we have time to play this game again. Now, let's clean up and get back to work.
You hold the open game box before you.
And that's our game of Suzerainty. Well, I guess there's a lesson to be learned. Is there some sort of metaphor here about doing what's good for the public good will lead to us being crushed in the global economic system? It's something for all of us to think about. Oh, what's that? Oh, yeah, that's right. We did internalize the thought.
Detective Cousteau. Monsieur Cousteau, the reward for coming up with your classy new name has arrived. What are the attributes Detective Cousteau should gain in? Obviously, savoir-faire and esprit de corps. You know exactly what they do and what those words mean. They're refined, like you. You have a ton of that fancy stuff. And if the world can't accept Raphael Ambrosius is your name, you will always be Detective Cousteau to yourself. R.A. Cousteau, sophisticated culture detective, specializes in ancient things and art.
Yeah, I know what these words mean. Obviously, I do. We got a +1 to savoir-faire. This one sounds fancy. Let's have this. +1 is esprit de corps. Yep, fancy. Let's have that one too. No debuffs. So that's good. Let's have a look. Okay, savoir-faire is now at 2. Esprit de corps is at 5. This is higher than I thought it was. Okay, so hopefully we do get more. You know, esprit de corps does not talk all that much, so hopefully we might get something more from that. Savoir-faire start. It's always been very low this whole game. It's starting to get a little higher now. Just a little higher. Okay, well, it's actually not that late. I was waiting for 19 o'clock. That did not take as long as I thought it might to actually get past to get through Suzerainty. Kim said it was 1 to 6 hours. I feel like that did not take long. But we can go talk to Klaasje. We should do that. Been a while since our last talk.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
So this one's lock is volition. Drama, very low. Let's see if we can do something about this drama. Since we do have clothes that will pump that up for us. That's negative drama. This one's +1 drama. I'm not sure. Let's see if there's anything better. That's negative. This is well, the silk robe is also +1 drama. +1 drama, -1 authority. This one is double buff, just no negative, so I might as well wear that. Yes. Also looks good on us. Tank top. Uh-huh. Bow tie. Mm-hmm. What is drama? We got a +4 on that right now. Drama is at 5.
Officer.
Wow.
What brings you up here in the rain?
This is a hard check. Like that, the percentage did not go up all that much. This is a volition check, which is a 2. Well, we could put a point in volition. And we could also heal this.
Officer, what
So-
brings you up here in the rain?
58% now. Let me just remind myself of something. Yeah, there's no volition there. I don't think any of these clothes were really talking about volition. It didn't seem so. I think volition was one of the stats that not really finding much of anything that affects it. The fair weather, the armor does. That gives us a +1. Oh, this one does. So volition is now at +2, which is an 8. Let me just make sure something here. Yeah, there's no negatives on that right now. The thought I'm learning, hardcore is -2 interfacing.
Officer,
It's
what
83%.
brings you up here in the rain?
I do have drugs. For some reason, I always have to equip it twice. I don't know why that is.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
92%. Let's look her in the eye.
Soft, light brown eyes look back at you. directly into the space behind your eye sockets. You see the smoke rise from between her painted red lips. She's beautiful. I have bad news for you.
What?
You know these guys?
Hmm?
Who, me?
I know him pretty well, yes.
Yes, he's talking about you, you sinewy idiot. You too. Me? What have I done this time? These guys are compromised. She's got them singing along to her tune. The little bleeps and bloops you trust for info, you can't trust them anymore.
Oh my god.
Believe it.
Which ones are affected?
There's no way of knowing. At the moment, I'm afraid it's best to assume. All of them. Bullshit, man. I ain't compromised.
I mean, electrochemistry is consistently bad advice, so I don't know if it's compromised.
Especially that guy. That guy's the most compromised one in here.
You sure?
No fucking way, man. I just want a drag of that sweet menthol ziggy.
It is kind of the only thing he talks about.
Really? Quick. Tell me what's under her jumpsuit. Glory. Truth. Softness. Protect her. She wants you.
Alright, he might be compromised.
I take it back. He's got it pretty bad. But this next guy's on another level entirely. She likes you. The crown head is a boring condom. He's jealous. This is human nature.
Suggestion. I don't know if any of that's true. How did this happen?
How it always does. Through subtlety.
What can I do?
There's nothing you can do about it. You are how you are, and she is how she is. Things will go as they do.
Can't you turn them normal again?
No.
What use is this then?
It's better to know you're being played than to be played without knowing it, is it not?
I guess that's true. Does this mean she's been lying to me?
I think it's safe to assume, yes. Mr. Thespian here hasn't been speaking up. If he were, I suspect there would be paeans to her truthfulness. Like this. She is a lady, most fair and just.
Yeah, drama is pretty low. So I guess drama has not been passing the checks to tell us about how great she is.
In his defense, to reduce him to such inadequacy, she probably had to employ half-truths more often than outright lies. That is correct. And omissions too.
Can I trust that guy?
A little. They're all still of limited use, interpreting things to the best of their ability. Maybe they add flair or something. I wouldn't know. I don't add flair. But when it comes to assessments of character and factual accuracy, they are not to be trusted. Not with her.
Can I trust any of them ever again?
Don't be melodramatic. You can trust them. Just not with Miss Orange Disco Dancer here.
Alright, so we're only compromised when it comes to her.
A light green speck and imperfection on the outer rim of her right iris. It sparkles.
Even perception is hot for her, it seems. What's her plan?
You can't draw a sound conclusion. The one he usually does says, huh? No, Mr. Conclusion. You're always kind of limited in your analytical abilities. That's not her fault, but still.
Would that be logic? Oh yeah, logic's at 0. I've been talking to myself long enough. Let's get back to it.
Don't worry. It's only been 4 or 5 seconds. You've got this.
Well, we've never been one for subtlety. Miss, are you manipulating me?
The silence broken. She exhales a little cloud of smoke and says,
God, no.
Well, she's denying it. Drama, of course. Oh, manipulating your skill set +3. The drama chance has increased, but of course we need to change our clothes to try to pass that one. Now that well, I mean, we should probably talk to what we're here to talk about. And hopefully, you know, we can trust our stats a little bit. Now that you've had more time, can you tell us more about the victim?
Like, for example, his name?
Actually, officer, I didn't know his name. I just called him Lely.
A nickname?
I guess. He came from Lelystad. It's short for that. And it was his army name, apparently. He said his real name wasn't his. I tried to pry it out of him, but it was no use.
Lelystad. That's a good start.
The lieutenant writes it down in his notebook.
We have a few questions you can help us with. A few things a field autopsy alone can't answer.
The young woman cranes her neck, trying to catch a glimpse of the page the lieutenant passed to you. On it is a list of autopsy observations recorded neatly in blue ink. The last missing pieces of a puzzle of flesh.
Where is Lelystad? The place, I mean.
In Oranje, officer. It's, I think municipality is the term. A nowhere town there.
The Lelystad municipality has few boroughs and even fewer cities. It's made of agricultural plots near the border of Gottwald. Executive summary: cows, silos, and wheat.
You were almost right, officer. That means his race was Occidental, not Mondial. I'll update the form.
You're both from Oranje?
Yes. We were compatriots.
Did that bring you together?
No. He was too old for that. And from another part of Oranjenrijk. I didn't even understand his accent. What brought us together wasn't Oranje. It was bad habits.
Sex, alcohol, speed, probably also sildenafil, and violence.
All of the hits. How old was he, miss?
He was 42.
42? Are you sure? I would have had him above 50.
He had many scars that made him appear older. But no.
The memory makes her smile.
We even celebrated his birthday, like, some weeks ago. It was a funny 2 days. He had little reason to lie to me.
We were slightly off then. Thank you for clearing it up.
The lieutenant makes a correction in his notes.
A miss.
Oh, hardcore breakthrough, almost here.
The adversary one.
His eye color?
Blue. Light blue. They were like little blue galaxies, you know? It was strange, seeing those eyes in his fucked up face. Pardon the swearing. I do him an injustice. He wasn't ugly. And he had a beautiful, soft voice. Very surprising, what with all the scarring. It was quite something, watching him speak.
He had a combat wound on his chin and mouth?
Yes. Severe. It made him look like half his face was cracking away in some strange smile. That and those eyes.
It's clear she was very much attracted to him, and still is.
You found him attractive?
Of course. He was the most strangely beautiful man I've ever been with. And I mean that.
She shivers slightly.
And now, he's dead. A pity.
Ah, yes. His hair, if you can remember?
It was light brown, almost blonde. He darkened it with brilliantine, made oily. Not nice to stroke. I couldn't convince him to leave it alone.
Interesting. I, too, have stroked his hair.
Oily, isn't it?
She says...
That in common now.
She says unfazed. She draws on her cigarette and lets the smoke linger for a moment in her mouth. We did stroke his hair. It was a moment we had during the autopsy. He had a tattoo. What did it mean?
Oh, that.
Was it an RNU's map of the waterways? That's what Joyce says anyway.
Sure, waterways. It was mostly for showing off to chicks, though.
For showing off the chicks? How so?
How? Imagine him lying in bed. Freakish musculature laid out on the sheets. Scarred, of course. Tattooed. The sheets are dirty for some reason. He's smoking and drinking, of course. And his chest and shoulders and arms are studded with stars. Tens, hundreds of them.
maybe even thousands.
And the woman goes like, "What was this, baby?" And he says, "That was too hardcore. Don't ask me about that." So she goes, "Okay, but what's this, baby?" And he's like, "Saw some bat shit there. Killed some loincloths." And so it goes. Star after star, port after port, third world country after third world country. And he's done horrible things in every single one of them.
You were the woman in this?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us precisely what these mean?
No, thank you. I've seen enough of him dead. I can tell you what they meant without looking at them.
She pours herself some more coffee.
Go on.
He was a blue-eyed boy with thick arms, from a small town. He was also poor, and the government of Oranje needed some people killed, so they turned him into a grotesque killer. For money. He went to Killer Academy in Vredefort. Then he killed some people in the Seminine Islands. And on other islands, too. All of the islands. After this, he came to Revachol and got killed himself.
Not a very fun story.
It is when you're high. It can be very exciting then. You have the tools to deal with it. It's not a very nice story to remember when you're sober. A change of topic?
Sure. We ordered a toxicology report. Any idea what that will show us?
A real rainbow splattering of pharmaceuticals, I bet. Barbiturates, amphetamine, sildenafil.
Electrochemistry, let's hear what you have to say.
Hear that? Sildenafil. Just like you suspected. You have a great nose for this stuff.
What is sildenafil?
It's for maintaining an erection. Uppers are vasoconstrictors, so that feat becomes problematic.
Okay, why do I know this?
Because you're a scientist, of course.
Oh, yes. Scientist who conducts experiments of science.
How much does the toxicology report cost the police of Revachol? I can do it for half of that. Save you some money, make some myself.
It's quite expensive, miss, but we'll manage without your help for now.
I think we're finished with this line of questioning.
All right.
The lieutenant puts the slip back in his notes and observes the young woman for a moment.
Coolly, gracefully, she pours herself more coffee.
Don't suppose there's anything new under the room topic.
Yeah?
Okay, no, there is. Hate to say it, but you've got sad all over. What does this mean? You've got sad all over the place.
Yeah. I've contaminated it pretty bad.
Is that why you're out here?
The contamination spreads from room to room. First, I escaped upstairs. The sad got that too. Then I found the handle for the summer door.
Oh my.
What if you contaminate this too as we spread our hands?
The world.
She looks around.
A squall of seagulls under the low-hanging sky. Distant machinery from the harbor. It's wide open and cold.
I wonder if Shivers is compromised. Surely we can trust Shivers.
It's hard to contaminate such a wide open space. Even for me. At least I hope so. If I do, where will any of us go?
What exactly is the nature of this contamination?
For me, it's a mix of me with a lack of cleaning services. How about you? Talk around the establishment is, you have an industrial sad spill in there.
You could call it that, yes.
Somewhere below, military-grade SAD is dripping off the walls. You should say the first thing. It's honest. It will lead to introspection.
Well, I mean, let's go along with what Inland Empire is advising us. Something is bad in my head, in the past.
That's where it always comes from, isn't it? From the head and from the past.
It's a feeling, white and filled with doom, gaseous, invisible, deadly. It's everywhere.
Sounds like an advanced form of what I've got. With a bit of old love sprinkled on top.
Yeah, Probably. I think there's some love in there.
Love is terror.
She breathes in a large billow of menthol-infused smoke, savors it, and lets it out slowly. And then electrochemistry said,
Brother, blast the Ziggy now. Press that pleasure button. Let the pain recede.
"No, we can blast a Ziggy later. It's probably fine." That door there. Did you know it leads to a downstairs elevator?
I did not. Do you think this has something to do with what happened?
It's possible.
She keeps looking at the door with a worried expression. The wind ruffles her hair.
There were tracks on the floor. They're recent.
Huh. This isn't good.
She feels like quarry, encircled. Her eyes dart to the door.
It's an old pinball workshop. The room back there. This place used to be a pinball arcade. Kim knows all about that.
Okay. I'm glad someone's had fun.
That's all for now.
Mm-hmm.
She flicks the ash from her cigarette absent-mindedly.
She's lost in thought. Eyes narrowed. Forehead furrowed.
I have other questions for you.
All right.
Okay, we did increase the drama, but... Oh, hold on a second.
Hardcore aesthetic. Oh yes, drugs. We're talking about drugs. Let's face it, these flirtations with the hardcore aesthetic have all been leading up to one question. Can I do drugs harder now that I'm a hard cop? And the answer is yes. You can. You can do one more blast of pyrrolidon and yellow shit powder. You can even pull a ciggy and a lager on top of that. There, you've truly made the hardcore your own thing now.
+1 endurance, really useful for doing drugs. +1 volition, same thing, hard man. Oh, it's +1 to both of our health pools. And of course, any checks that might use endurance and volition. That seems pretty good. Okay, so what we wanted to do was put on our drama clothes and go for that check. Because our chances did increase after having that conversation. So that's -1 drama. And of course, what we're already wearing. Yeah, it's the mesh one I'm looking for. This one. I changed that with the armor. Was there anything? Yeah, the bow tie. There we go. Drama's +4. 5 in total.
Officer, it's a fine day for questions.
Doing pretty well. But if the chat would like, we could make it a little bit better if they want to give a little boost to int. We could increase that drama up to 6 and get a little bit of a higher percentage. I don't really know what it is we're telling her here. We're telling her to wake up. I don't know what this conversation, what this would be. 92%. Let's see if she can wake up.
Who? What? Dear Lord, you've been lied to. She could have killed her lover and lied to everyone. She's not the most fair and just at all. She's smoke and mirrors and will-o-wisps.
Okay, we're not telling this to her. We're waking up drama, and so drama is not head over heels for Klaasje anymore.
She probably didn't give you her real name either. Why would she? Arrest her immediately before she further entangles you in her web of lies.
Well, I don't know if arresting her is the path we wanted to take.
Take it easy. Don't overcompensate with this course correction. Ask questions first.
Yeah, don't do anything stupid. We never do anything stupid.
See?
Let's see. Why have we not arrested her yet? Devil woman. I think you didn't make the call to the station. Your real name is not Klaasje Amadou. What if I told you you're under arrest? Your real name isn't Klaasje, is it?
I agree. You wouldn't give us your real name, not when people are after you.
Okay.
Her voice cracks suddenly, like there's a garrote around her neck.
Tighten it. You've got her.
Okay, what?
Okay, it's not.
Good. You can tell me the truth.
You log your work every week. It's all transmitted to Common, sir. I couldn't just beg you not to enter my name. So I lied. Like I lied before. Like I did at LCSB. I have to lie all the time. I'm so tired of it.
Tell me your real name.
It's Katarzyna Elysium.
The smile on her face is timid, almost painfully so.
It's a Grad name. Jimsk or Yugo-Grad in origin. Not Occidental at all. Smells of motor oil, tiger, economic desolation, and rock music-infused alcoholism.
Finally, we meet Katarzyna Elysium.
She nods. Her round eyes meet yours. They seem moist from the wind on the roof.
I think let's try to keep from the vindictive sounding dialogue options. Enough.
She nods, her back straight, ready for whatever is next. Ready for the damage. She knows you're grilling her.
Well, I don't really want to arrest her. Do we have reason to think that she wasn't the one who called the station? I mean, no one else has admitted to that. If not Klaasje, then who would it have been that called the station? I'm trying to think about it. Did we ever talk to anyone that could have possibly been someone else who called the station? I can't really, I don't know who it would have been. Let's just change the subject for the time being.
She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger. You are. This is not the end of this.
Well, it seems like the only thing we can talk about is let's get back to those lies you told. And apparently that's the only thing we can talk about. I don't think we should arrest her. I don't see a reason for that. Like, maybe we could ask about if she actually did call in.
Officer. Lies.
She repeats, then trails off. It's unclear what she intended to say.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear.
Yeah, our voices are sounding pretty vindictive towards her. I think you didn't make the call to the station.
I did. What is this? I called your desk or whatever it is. The numbers are all over town. Call 8-100-2 for emergencies. There was an older woman on the other end. It sounded like she was smoking. She took my complaint. She coughed.
That is the emergency's desk number.
All right.
Anyone could know that, sire, by looking around and calling the desk. I don't believe a single word she says.
What time did you make the call?
Thursday night. It was late, sometime after 12.
It checks out.
Well, let's say nothing.
She stands before you, holding her back very straight. She slowly lights another cigarette.
It seems like a lot of the remaining options are being quite angry towards her and possibly arresting her. It's not really the direction that I wanted it to go in. Not sure if we need to press her, because as far as the actual investigation goes, we pretty sure we know where Ruby is. And like, maybe if we go there and nothing pans out, we could, eventually come back to talk to Klaasje. Oh, and also, if we arrest her, I can't talk to her tonight after Kim leaves. And find out what I was doing on Sunday. So, if nothing else, I don't want to arrest her because of that. So, but there weren't any other dialogue options. I don't really want to call her a devil woman. Let's see, it's 16:45. We still have some time before the dice are finished. Let me see something here. I have a point. All right. No, not the window. There's something. I'm gonna move that Eternite. I'm gonna move it. I know it doesn't want to be moved. I'm gonna move that thing. We gotta do it. It's like been here for like the entire game. And we keep looking at it and we say, look at that. But no. Tonight's the night. We're moving that Eternite. Get to that. We're gonna do this now. It's finally happening. Yes?
You think you have a pretty hot suspect right now, don't you? That ruby of yours?
Yeah, and?
Notice how it came together without casting too much suspicion on Klaasje. It was nice and ruby-centric in the end.
What do you mean?
Anything strike you a bit off about this mishmash?
Let's see. I guess no one has mentioned hearing a shot, did they?
Notice how this hasn't come up at all. Even Hardy and his boys didn't mention it. Neither did you.
I never even thought about that, but no one has said that they heard a gunshot. And if the shot did come from the roof, then, that would just be strange. Well, the bullet didn't have to come from the roof. It could have come from anywhere on the coast.
Absolutely. It could have come from anywhere. But you're suddenly so certain it came from the roof behind the window.
Well, yeah, that's because there's an easy path to get there. The footprints in the pinball workshop didn't fit with the Odd Souls prints on the crime scene. Did we determine that? I don't remember if we determined that.
No, they didn't.
The bullet was jacketed. They don't just lie around everywhere, do they?
Good point. It is rather rare these days. But do continue.
It turned out the bullet was an antique.
True. Strange how you conducted the whole advanced ballistics analysis and then hand-waved it.
I guess we're done thinking about it.
That's right. Finish thought. Just finish it and conveniently go on. She's watching you leave right now. You know that. Free as a bird on that roof. Lighting up a cigarette and thinking, am I glad Ruby's in this shit and not me?
I think Volition's pushing a bit too hard about arresting Klaasje. Yes, she was lying to us. But I'm not really all in on arresting her, at least not yet. All right, so I think we're gonna have to put a point into this. Yeah. And just to make sure, yeah, it is a perception check. Yes. Perception. There. Point. Do we have perception clothes to put on? The boots. Keep forgetting the boots are perception boots. All right, perception. Let's see. Is there something giving a negative buff to it? Yeah, the glasses are. Alright, so now I have +1 perception. I don't think any of my other glasses do give a perception buff. You'd think that perception would be a buff you'd get from glasses. Does not seem to be the case.
An inconspicuous pile.
97%. Move this damn termite.
Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly.
That's right. That is right. Pull the panels aside.
There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
But that's right, we're going to investigate. We're going to check this place out. We're going to savor the victory of just like pulling that aside. We could have done that any time. It was so easy to do that. It's crawling with locusts in here. Oh, really? Is it?
All around you, the hisses and chirps of locusts fill the musky air. The earthen floor of the shack has been shaped into mounds of mud, dotted with little holes for windows.
I guess we know where Kuno put the locusts.
Well, detective, it appears you've solved the case.
The lieutenant turns around, looks around, writes something in his notebook, and turns to you.
Of the locusts. For the missing locust case, which is a subcase of the imaginary insect case. So at least that's going well.
Yes, precisely what I was thinking.
Yes. I feel we are nearing a real breakthrough.
You think the Insulindian phasmid is nearby?
If anything, the presence of the locust points to the opposite. The phasmid did not take the bait from the traps. It was Kuno. The phasmid doesn't exist. But what do I know?
Well, we should talk to Kuno about this. Get him to stop.
I'll let you handle the Kuno side of things. You are doing just fine.
Well, I don't know if I have been doing just fine on the Kuno side of things. You might make an argument that I've been handling that side of things poorly. A silver plate with traces of bone yellow powder. Yes, electrochemistry?
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
I swear I wasn't thinking about taking it. I was thinking about justice.
Of course, detective. Swift justice. Don't worry, we don't have to investigate every trace of narcotics.
The lieutenant points to the ladder in the corner.
Yeah, swift, lightning justice. Faster, harder, justicer.
See that ladder there? It's probably another way into the industrial harbor, no? A secret path the local kids use.
The poster says, "Get out of the way or get fucked up." That's actually a Fallen slogan from an aggressive youth-oriented campaign. Yeah, that is an aggressive advertising slogan, I think. Cured pig's head. Looks mummified. Oh, some real. 0.4. That would have been, if we opened this up back at the beginning, that would have meant quite a bit. Now, not that much. Got some Nosafed. This doorway is going to collapse soon. Restoration pillars keep the ruins together. And a bucket. with a postcard, Grand Coron 37. Some real right here. More real. And a little bit more real. I guess there's nothing else up here. These, of course, are the doors. We recognize them. That we used to get in and out of the harbor. But now we're on the rooftop above it, which we weren't able to get to before. But not seeing anything else. Oh, there's a new observation point by Gary's home. I guess we should check that out. Well, there wasn't much here, but it was actually very important that we did that because we have solved the case of the missing locusts. So it was totally worth it.
Have you come to make your offering to Kuno?
I guess I can't talk to him about the locust yet. We're gonna have to wait till tonight to give him the cigarettes, and then we can get down to business. Conceptualization's pretty low right now, isn't it?
Ordinary war. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, even with those pluses, it's still only 3%. You hear the sound of running water. Someone's washing dishes.
The door is closed again. Nothing to do here anymore. You hear someone inside, walking from room to room. Whoever lives here must be back home.
Well, Gary did say, or one of our thoughts, I think, said that after talking to Gary that we wouldn't be able to talk to him again. So I guess now that he's home, there's not going to be a chance to talk to him. But that's fine because we got the armor from him. And that was really the only thing I think that was needed.
Oh, hello, sweetie. So nice to see you again.
Well, nothing new there. Maybe we need to talk to Morel.
Hello, officer. I think I almost have it. A new trap design, that is. I know you're skeptical, but I have a good feeling about this. Well, there may not...
No new options there.
Yes. What?
Hold on, let me just take a look at what that quest says. Ask Kuno about the empty trap, take a look around the yard, confront Kuno about the locust. Okay, so yeah, we can't talk to them yet. We have to talk to Kuno first. Yeah, okay. 25 superstar cop points. 1 apocalypse cop, 4 sorry cop, 5 boring cop, 32 communist, 1 fascist, 5 ultra liberal, 3 moralist, good cop, bad cop, 15, honor 1, people killed 3, case solved 216 years of service, 18 years. I mean, and here Kim said that points were imaginary and that we were not being scored. Well, clearly we're being scored all the time. Yeah, like a lot of this stuff we can't do yet. Like the dice maker thing is the next thing to do. Then tonight at 22, we want to confront the person that has the gun. We probably want Kim with us for that. Then, well, I don't know how long that's going to take, but afterwards we could have Kim go to bed. Then we could talk to Kuno. Then, well, maybe we try to talk to Klaasje first, because Kuno is out there all night. So talk to Klaasje first about what we did on Sunday, then talk to Kuno, offer him cigarettes. That's probably... Yeah, I think that's probably how it's gonna go. And the evidence is... Yeah, the evidence is right there. We can't just ignore it. So I think that's the progression we're going to be doing as we continue on with Disco Elysium. So, yes, very attractive. Very attractive. What is... So we played Suzerainty, and we learned about the locusts, and we talked... Okay, so actually we did learn something relevant to the case. Yeah, most of the time, we don't learn too much relevant to the case. But this time we did, because we talked to Klaasje and found out that she was lying about her identity. And also, Volition pointed out that no one heard a gunshot, which does cast some doubt into our theory that someone went upstairs through the kitchen, up to the roof, and then shot the guy. So... there could be some issues with our theory. So we have learned something about the case. But next time, night's gonna fall, and hopefully we make some advancements as we are starting to reach the end of Day 5 in Disco Elysium.